This is English Literature Web. This is the YouTube channel which uploads the videos on English literature, English grammar, English phonetics and phonology, and English speaking course. Today, I am Professor L.B.Gayakawad talking on the topic Dialect and Idiolect, Part 2. The national dialects are American English, Irish English, Philippine English, etc. Now, we have seen in the first part that the dialects are related with the area, or it is the language of the area. And that's why here today we are discussing that the national dialects are American English, Irish English, and Philippine English. The social dialect is used by sociolects belonging to the class of people or occupational groups. The social dialect is there, and this social dialect is used by the sociolects, means the people who are social in society. By these people, this social dialect is used, and this social dialect is related with the class of people, or it is related with the occupations of the groups. The ethnic dialect is used particularly by the ethnic group. Remember, there is the second dialect, or there is the second type of the dialect, which is called the ethnic dialect, that is relating people race, means this is the dialect which is related with the race of the public, means the class of the public, and it is called the ethnic dialect, which is used particularly or specially or specifically by the ethnic group. There is the ethnic group of the people, and this ethnic group uses this ethnic dialect. Idiolect and dialects are also different from one another. Remember, dialect and idiolect are the different concepts and definitions, and these definitions or concepts are really very different from one another. Dialect is the particular language which is used by the group of people, or it is the language of the area, and idiolect is the particular language which is used by the individual person, and that's why these two are very different from one another. The unique language variety of each individual is called idiolect. Remember, when the person personally or individually speaks the language, speaks its style, or speaks its manner, or speaks its rules and regulations, he speaks or he writes, that is called the unique language variety of each individual, which is called idiolect. So idiolect means the particular style of the individual person, and this is called the unique language. The regional group has the language which is called the dialect. Remember, here it is very clear that the regional group is there, and that regional group has the particular language, and that language is called the dialect. Means the dialect is the language of the regional group or the section wise group. The same language has the various dialects which are spoken by people. Remember, the same language means, for example, if the language is English, this English language has various dialects and idiolects. And the same language which is called now the English, This English language has the various dialects which are spoken by people. Means there are various people, and these various people speak these dialects of the English language. These dialects bring men together for unity or for the mutual understanding. Remember, language is used by man for the unity. Because of language, the total world is existing there. And the language is the particular way of discussing emotions and desires of man with man. And that's why this language has given us various dialects, and these dialects bring men together, and this togetherness makes the unity or the mutual understanding. And that's why we can say that these dialects make the mutual understanding or the togetherness or the unity of all the people. The dialect is spoken as per the geographical areas. Remember, the dialect is the particular thing which is related with the geographical area. Means it is the area of the earth. Means there are some areas on the earth, and those areas are existing on the earth with the geography. And that's why as per the geographical areas, the dialect is spoken or the dialects are spoken on the earth. The dialect is transmitted from parents to children in the region, and it is called the child's vernacular dialect or native dialect or mother tongue dialect. Remember, it is very clear here that the dialect is transmitted. Means this dialect goes from one person to the second person, or from one person into the second person. So that's why this dialect is transmission. This dialect follows the transmission, and that's why the dialect is transmitted from parents to the children. Means parents are there who speaks the dialect which is transmitted into the children. Means the children follow that dialect from the parents, and that's why we can say that the dialect is transmitted from the parents to the children in the region. In the region means in the particular, in the specific section of society, and it is called the child's vernacular dialect. So this dialect is called the vernacular dialect of the children because this has the variety of children, because these dialects are spoken by the children, and that's why they are called the children's vernacular dialects or the native dialects or the mother tongue dialects. The dialect shows the variation in language, in phonology, in grammar, and in society. Remember, these dialects are very much important because these dialects are related with society, with people, and that's why the people are various, and that's why these dialects show the variations. Means these dialects change from persons to persons, and that's why these dialects show the variations, changes, differences in language. Means the languages are different. Means one group uses the particular language, the second group uses the again other language, and the groups use the language differently, the phonology differently, and the grammar of that dialect is also very different, and society is also very different, and that's why these dialects are with the variations in society. Dialect is the language spoken by people area wise, and that's why we can say that these dialects are the particular languages which are spoken by the people area wise. Means there are the areas, and in those areas the people are existing with the areas, and with the impact of that area, or with the impact of those areas, this dialect is spoken, or people speak these dialects as for the manner, style of the area. The particular class, district, region, or a group of people use the dialect. Remember, there are many sections, there are many parts, there are many specific parts, I will say, which use this dialect. So the particular class means the group of people. The particular district means we know there is the section of the headquarter of the district, that is called the district. Then region, there is the particular region, there is the particular section, or a group of people. Group of people means there are, suppose there are 1 lakh people, or suppose 20,000 people who use the particular dialect, and all these people use the particular dialect. So the dialect shows the character. In this way we can say that this dialect shows the character of that area, the character of people, the style of the people, then the culture of the people, the culture of that society, the custom of that society, or the custom, culture, or the lifestyle of the particular area. Linguistically, the dialect is the type of language which is different from other types of the same language as per phonology, grammar, vocabulary used by people who differ from each other geographically or socially. Remember, when we think the dialect linguistically means as per the language, when we think the dialect, then we can say that dialect is the type of language. It is the type of language, means I will say here American English, Russian English, Indian English, like this, Pakistani English, like this. So the dialect is the type of language which is different from other types of the same languages. Means suppose the same language is English, because we have taken this English from the British people, means BRP, British Received Pronunciation, and this language, English language, is the same language everywhere, but there is the difference between the two English languages. Means there is the difference between the Indian English language and Russian English language, American English language, like this. And that's why the same language English is there, but the English language as for the country, or I will say as for Russia, as for India, as for Pakistan, this English is different, and this English as per country or as per area is very different in the sense of phonology. Means the phonology of that area language is different, grammar is very different, vocabulary is very different, which is used by the people, and those people are different from each other geographically or socially. Means their society is different. Socially means their society is different, their culture is different, their customs are different, that is called socially. And geographically means everything in the sense of geography is different. Suppose the nature is different, and suppose the landscapes are different, and all these landscapes and geographical surrounding also make effect on these people, and that's why the tone and style and the manner of speaking, the dialect changes, and that's why it happens. And so I will say that the dialects are affected by the geographical or the social matters also. The dialect is the substandard of the main language. Remember, the main language is there. Suppose English is the main language, and the sub dialects are Indian English, Russian English, American English, Philippine English, I will say the English of every country, we can say, and that's why the dialect is the server standard of the main language. The literary dialect is called the standard dialect or standard language. Remember, there is the literary dialect which is used by the literary persons or the persons of literature. Writers are there, poets are there. So this literary dialect is called the standard dialect or the standard language. Means this is the standard language, this is the standard dialect because it is used by the literary persons. In short, the dialect is the style of a person to speak about himself in language. Remember, when we think of the dialect, then we can say that the dialect is the style of a person. Means it is the style of a person. Means one person speaks his dialect or her dialect. So that's why the dialect is the style of a person to speak about himself in language. Means he talks about himself and he uses the language of that area, and that's why it is called the dialect, which is used for the individual person, or suppose the persons of the area who express their desires, feelings, emotions through that dialect or through that language. Really, the dialect is the language of man which is spoken at home. Remember, this is very clear that the dialect is the language of the man which is spoken at home. Means the home language. Suppose there is a particular group of people and their dialect is the same, and that's why they speak that dialect in the home also, and when they come out they speak with that dialect with the people of their religion or of their category. But when those people come out into the society, they use the different language, and that's why here we can say that the dialect is related with the homes also. Means it is the home language also. The regional dialects in India are broad bhasha, then khadi boli, etc. Means there are the two dialects in India, famous dialects in India. The first dialect is broad bhasha and the second is khadi boli, and these are used in the particular areas. The broad bhasha is spoken around Mathura, and the second, that is the khadi boli, is spoken around Meerut. So remember, the broad bhasha is the Mathura dialect and khadi boli is the Meerut dialect. The aristocrats dialect is called a class dialect. Remember, here I will say that the aristocrat people is the particular group, the specific group, the essential group in society, and this group uses the dialect, and that dialect is called a class dialect because it becomes the dialect of the particular class, and that's why it is called the class dialect. English is spoken with the dialects called old dialect, middle dialect, and contemporary English dialect. So remember, English is the particular language in the world which has the dialects called the old dialect, middle dialect, or the contemporary English dialect. When the dialect wins admiration and recognition, it is called the prestigious dialect of the standard language. Remember, when some of the dialects get some renowned fame, or when this dialect gets the admiration, or when this dialect gets the recognition, or when the world take the notice of this dialect, and when the world praise this dialect, then this dialect becomes the prestigious dialect of the standard language. So remember, here today we have seen the part second of the dialect and idiolect. And here today we have finished this topic. In the next lecture we will come in front of each other with a new topic. Here I am Professor L.B.Gayakawad, takes your leave. Thank you very much.